It's rivalry week here on 11 Personnel, presented by Monticello Bank. I'm Nick Roush. He's Adam Luckett, and we're here to get you ready for the season finale between the Cats and the Cards in the battle for the Governor's Cup, which, if I'm not mistaken, 31 years we've had this series, 30 total meetings. Shout out to COVID for getting Louisville out of that ass whooping, because, boy, they would have taken a hurting back in 2020. Will they take a hurting Saturday at Don't Call Me Papa John's Cardinal Stadium? We're here to talk about it all today. Thanks to our friends at Monticello Bank. Monticello Bank, it's where people matter. It's what put them in business for over 125 years across the Commonwealth. Bank local, bank with Monticello Bank. The local guys, they're going to get you the best, most competitive rates out there, whether you're needing a car, home loan, home equity line of credit, whatever it may be. Monticello Bank will have you taken care of. They're not too far from you, because they're all across the Commonwealth, and they're conveniently located online at mbcbank.com. Monticello Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and proud presenting sponsors of 11 Personnel. Mr. Luckett, it's rivalry week, man. How you feeling?
It is. About the same as the non-rivalry week. So there you go.
Oh, come on. Come on. You seem down, Luckett. You got to get a little extra pep in your step today. We got to go watch the Cats kick the Cards' ass. I need to see the juice. Let it loose, brother.
There's the juice.
Sounds like you had a child that was up late last night.
Just there's a lot of stuff. It's Thanksgiving week, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But we're trying our best over here.
Well, you're trying to squeeze in a week full of work into like 3 days. So I get it. There's a lot we're trying to fire off. Pew, pew, pew. The good news is it's easy to research this Louisville team because,
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, there's going to be guys that haven't played for Louisville all season on the field on Saturday, essentially.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But nameless, faceless, you know what they want to do.
But do you? I don't think you do. Do you know what this game is going to be? A gadget play fiesta.
Yeah. And what's the hit rate going to be? Like, the hit rate on any gadget play is like 15%, give or take. Now, they're better at it, so I would put it around 30 for them. But even so, if you try it 9 times, that means you're hitting on 3. And that's like worst case scenario. So maybe we start with that. Maybe we start with the worst case scenario for the Cats, because we all know I'm optimistic in this one. I think Luckett's pretty optimistic. But we do need to spell out what could happen, how things could go wrong for Kentucky against a shorthanded Louisville team. Because Luckett's right. They're depleted. Isaac Brown, Chris Bell, Keywan Brown. You name it. Hell, all of their playmakers are basically hurt. We don't know if Miller Moss or Deuce Adams is going to be playing in this game. But it doesn't sound so different than the Florida game, Luckett. And in that Florida game, it was different because it was at home, and DJ Lagway is obviously a better quarterback than either of the two guys that I mentioned. But in that Florida game, they did come out firing. Kentucky had some early turnovers. You had the muff punt. You give them a short field. Stoops was asked about it on the coach's show, like, pick a stat. Or Leach does the thing where he asked the fans to share, like, he asked them a question, wants them to respond. What stat do you think determines it? And Stoops is like, a turnover margin. Just cut him off right there. Because that I feel like it's bad turnover margin. Louisville gets after the Kentucky offensive line. You have a second straight week where they're unbalanced, and then Cutter Boley isn't firing on all cylinders, and you find yourself in a slugfest where you really don't want to be against the Louisville defense that's been solid all year.
Yeah, I think in this series, I'm trying to pull it up right now if I can find it. I wrote this post last year. Basically, turnovers kind of is the biggest thing. In Kentucky, I believe, was -4 last year. Here, I got it.
Well, while you're pulling it up, I would also say, too, that there was a stat that Eric Crawford would lean on where it was almost like 20 straight years where the team that won the running battle won the game.
Yeah, I think that's gone out the window here lately.
Yeah. Since COVID, it's no longer the case. But there for a while, that was the deciding factor in the series.
It's not necessarily. I thought it might have had. The Kentucky was +8. Here it is. Kentucky was +8 in the turnover column in the series from 2019 to 2023. So they were like +2 per game, and then last year it got flipped upside down and got away from Kentucky because of the turnovers. There's in 4 of the last 5 games, it looks like there's been a team's been +2 or more in the turnover column. So yeah, I think that is like Kentucky hasn't played well on offense on the road. Just call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Like Stoops can say, well, they played complimentary football against Auburn. They did not play well in that game. They missed multiple chances to land the knockout blow in the fourth quarter.
Couldn't do it.
They did not play well. So they haven't played well in a road game really all year. There's been garbage time drives, I think, against Georgia and Vanderbilt where you saw like, oh, okay, here they go. But they have to play well on offense. That's a concern. I think, Louisville's going to gadget play it, and then like Kentucky's secondary is concerning.
Yes. To say the least.
But with that, Louisville's been handling their QB situation with kid gloves really for a month now.
Yeah.
It's all been all short passes. They don't have Chris Bell. Sounds like they might not have Colin Lacey. Sounds like all their running backs are out. So on paper, it's a game Kentucky should win by a very big margin. But they are also coming off a situation, call a spade again. They got outplayed, they got out executed, they got out coached.
Yes.
They got beat in every way you could get beat in a football game. So that can't happen again. But all signs point to Kentucky should win this game by double digits. And if like Louisville just comes out and plays straight up, Kentucky will win by double digits.
The thing too about you mentioned the kid gloves. Even when Louisville was getting explosive with Bell or with Lacey, it was usually we're just going to throw a slant and he's going to run and hit his head on the goalpost, right? Like it wasn't they weren't really pushing the ball vertically down the field with Miller Moss and co. Initially, I think they tried to, but the offensive line, it took them a while to figure it out. They feel kind of like one of maybe last year's Kentucky team or even the 2023 group where, all right, once you figure out one thing, then the other part just falls apart, right? Like that Ray Davis team, it was like, okay, we got the run game going. Now let's get the passing game going. You start throwing it, and then you can't run the ball at all. Like it's felt very helter-skelter for them all year. But they have had big play guys, Chris Bell and Isaac Brown, where that guy, it doesn't take much for him to get up and go, but we're not going to see those guys suiting up on Saturday. So it does add a little wrinkle to it. You mentioned previously that Sean Boykins, who was the first North Hardin quality recruit that Kentucky didn't get in a long time. Cats are recruiting him. He ultimately committed to Louisville, and then he's a receiver, but he was playing running back for him. So it's hard to you made that point. It's hard to assess exactly who they're going to roll out there. But at least in the trenches, the one sort of defining thing, I think, excluding the Clemson bowl game and obviously last year's Louisville game, when Mark Stoops plays these ACC teams, it's we're just going to shove your ass into a locker type football game. I mean, the NC State bowl game, the Virginia Tech bowl game, like it's very much we know that we are better than you in the trenches, so we're going to go up and we're going to just brawl. And Kentucky's defensive line can do that. The question is, do we trust the offensive line to do that? Because you do have to tip
not against this front. Not against Louisville's front is legit. Like you can sit here and say whatever you want, but like Clev Lubin's a pro, Wesley Bailey's a pro, Renee Conga's a draft. They've got like legit, I think, 3 draft picks on that defensive front, and both their linebackers can play. Are both draft picks, in my opinion. The biggest strength of Louisville is the front, their defensive front.
Yeah.
So you can't let that group wreck the game. Like it's not a game where you say we're running for 300 yards.
Right. You need to do enough to be able to pass the ball effectively.
Yeah, like You've got Louisville plays an aggressive style of defense. They're going to bring pressure. They are going to do what Vandy did last week. Like, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring safeties. They're going to bring nickel pressures. They're going to try to do the same thing Kentucky or Vandy did to Kentucky. Cutter Bully. So for Kentucky, they've got to be better getting the ball out on the perimeter, blocking on the perimeter, and taking advantage of some of this aggressiveness. And then when you get a couple first downs, then try to get that run game rolling.
Yeah, hit them with some tempo in the run. It feels like a tempo run is the best way to get explosives for this Kentucky rushing attack.
And the start of this game is everything.
Yeah.
The route could be on if Kentucky starts fast.
Yeah. Similar to Florida, right? I mean, once it was over, it was over in a heartbeat. But to your point, you can't get stuck behind the chains because Lubin or Conga gets in there. And if those names are familiar, that we had kind of circled Clev Lubin as a name to monitor in the transfer portal last year. Ultimately, things unfolded. You get Mike Humphrey Grace, who has been exceptional for the Cats, had 2 sacks last week. And then Renee Conga, that was 2 cycles ago. That one felt like I don't think we want to spend as much as Louisville does. And he was just okay for them last year, but has been really good. And he's the reason why Bailey ultimately ended up transferring from Rutgers this offseason. Which it is kind of funny. Like the psychoanalysis of the Louisville fans where their asses were ready to run Ron English out of town. I mean, they were pissed he was back. But in a lot of ways, he's kind of saved their season. And the guy who they thought would be their savior, they can't wait to get Miller Moss out of here. So it's kind of funny how things have unfolded for them where Ron English was fade on sight, persona non grata, and now he's, especially early on in the year, that James Madison game, they were dead in the water. And then they had a couple, that defensive line wrecked the game, and they were able to kind of get out of there with a win over the Dukes. The only loss the Dukes have had this season.
Right. And they've had a good year, but I will say the defense had some slippage here these last few weeks.
Well, and to your point too, like that about the start, because it didn't happen on the first drive where we were watching at that bar in the West End on Saturday. But once SMU kind of got going, they were like, let's run north-south right up your ass. I mean, there was no, they did it kind of with the spread rushing attack, but they were getting north and south and getting, 6, 8, 10, 12 yards a carry there for a while. And that's where the want to comes into effect, which you alluded to on the KSR football podcast. Kind of feels like a bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, to your juice point, it's a bring your own juice game. It is a rally the troops moment for Louisville. I just don't know if the personnel is there for them. That is honestly the biggest concern for them. So you do feel like if Kentucky shows up and just plays well, they should win this football game. But they have to go and do it. And offensively, you just have to address the elephant in the room, I think, when you talk about this game. They have stunk on offense away from home. It's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
Have they scored? They haven't, they still got the 2 touchdowns or less streak away from home.
Yeah. And I don't think they've scored a first half touchdown away from home.
South Carolina, they scored first drive.
They got the first drive. Okay.
They had 10 points at half and then didn't do anything in the second half. Georgia, no. They had 7 at half against Georgia. Auburn, 3 at half.
Yep.
Last week, 3 at half. So they got to, you just got to go and do it until you can't, to me, it's almost like you can kind of expect it, but you can't, they got to go and do it at this point.
You got to be about it. You can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
Yeah. Now, Louisville's pass defense here lately has had some issues. Clemson, not so much, but JKS, 350, Nick. 63.3% completion rate, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then Kevin Jennings last week, 30 for 38 for 307 with 3 touchdowns. This team hasn't had an interception since Boston College was in town, and that was before Halloween. And so the pass defense has had some issues here. And for Kentucky's passing game, it's got to get going. And to me, it's getting that ball back out on the perimeter. It's blocking well. It's taking some shots, I think, early in this game. to be like, hey, we're not doing what we did last week. We're going to challenge you to cover us.
So a point that I don't know if it was Stoops or Bush made this week was Vanderbilt made a concerted effort to take away the quick passing game to Kendrick Law. I would think that Ron English and the Louisville defense would learn their lessons from what happened in the Cal game, where they let that freshman receiver catch 15 passes, including the game winner on 4th down in overtime.
Yeah, the slot guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like one would think that they would try to do it, but they didn't get to Cal. So I Jagger, he mentioned yesterday too that like part of what they were doing after practice was just going and watching the Louisville cut-ups, especially the ones where the pressures have really gotten them as of late. I just wonder how much, you don't want to say helped, but like Vandy kind of gave Louisville a blueprint defensively, and Kentucky should know it. So can you make the right adjustments to not get got? And can you make sure they're just enough adjustments to where you're not overthinking it and trying to, reinvent the wheel here? Where I think, generally speaking, Bush knew that like the key to getting Vandy on their heels and getting rid of that pressure was getting into tempo, but they just could never get anything started. So really, a lot of this game comes down to how effective are you on first downs, to where it's not no gains, tackle for loss. You're getting yourself a favorable situation early, and then once that diesel engine gets warmed up, then it can really get to rocking and rolling.
Yeah, speaking of the defensive slippage that I've kind of talked about with Louisville, every team they faced for really the last month has at least had one running back or one rusher go for over 80 yards on like 4 to 5 yards per rush. So it's not like they're not getting gashed, but teams are having success running the football on them. So for me, Kentucky, get draft started.
Yeah.
Can't have a 3-and-out party.
Nope.
And then once you get drive started, then I think you'll have some success with the running game. But again, they like offensively, that's what concerns me the most, I think, about this game is just, does Kentucky's offense come out here and just mess around?
Yeah, because if you get into a slugfest, that's when the margin of error, right? And that's how, I mean, like, let's be real. We've seen Mark Stoops do this where, hey, how do you win a game against an overmatched opponent? You drag them down in the mud, make them play your style of football. And I know that Mark Stoops has been comfortable in the past, but you do have, I mean, it's kind of wild to say, look at just with the reputations that each coach has, but you have the weapons, the offensive firepower that Jeff Brom does not have. Kind of weird to say in this series. Kind of weird to say. Here's a question that to kind of get off the subject for a second.
But yeah, get Kendrick Law the ball.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let him be a bulldog.
Touches.
Yeah.
Just get him the football. Let's start there. No matter how you have to do it. Find ways to get him the football. And again, Nick, like, I think the only vertical pass in that game was to the flea flicker.
Sounds about right.
If they're gonna play you like that, you have to throw it deep. If they're gonna blitz corners and safeties, throw the sucker downfield. Do not let them sit there and just play like that. You can't. You got to attack the perimeter and throw downfield.
Let JJ Hester go catch it on somebody's head. I mean, that's what he's good at.
I mean, throw it to anybody. I don't care. Just throw it to anyone. Downfield. But yeah, I mean, the screen game to guys not named Law, you almost have to, if they're going to play like that, you almost have to use Law as a decoy.
Yeah. 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 And even
if they're so,
well,
like the smoke screen and go, just do that. Like if they, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see that, like fake a screen to Law and then you get Hester or someone, half block, release downfield on a wheel route.
Or the other one too. You fake that screen and the defensive line gets pressure, and then you dump it underneath to Seth McGowan, a little running back screen.
So
Well, let's
Yeah.
not say too much. We don't want to give it away. The 11 personnel might be on at the Brom House this week. Okay,
Yeah.
can't
So
keep giving it away.
for Louisville, like you just have to, I think you have to look at how they're thinking about this. All right. We need a gadget play it. We need turnovers. We have to make an impact in special teams. Kentucky's almost gotten 2 punts blocked last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're going to see a punt block. Like they're going to come after a punt.
It's true.
You got to expect to see, Vandy returned a kickoff for a touchdown last week. They got called back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to return a kickoff. If Colin Lacey can play, he's one of the best return guys in college football, both punt and kickoff. So you can't let them impact the game that way. So that's like, they're going to have to win this game in the margins. Like it's a game where Kentucky should win total yardage. They should win success rate. They should win yards per play. They should win all these battles. It's just, do not let Louisville win in the margins. And if you can play clean, you're going to be in good shape. And the offense got to put together away from home.
This is not a game where it's necessarily hostile territory because look at man, how many years? I mean, I feel like I've aged a lifetime since the last time we saw Kentucky lose at Louisville. How long has it been?
Yeah, you're talking 20. I mean, you're talking 2014. Stoops' first trip to Louisville was the last one he lost.
That can't be right. I mean, it's a rivalry game. You win your home games, right? You've got a hostile crowd. All your fans show up for this game. Well, I went to gametime.co. You can open up the Game Time app on your phone. Look it. It is just tickets as far as the eye can see. I mean, tickets everywhere. And
yeah, this is gonna be the most friendly environment Kentucky has played in all season.
Maybe even as friendly as Kroger Field. $60 will get you in the door at Game Time. That's all fees included. That's one thing that's great about Game Time. You're not going to get tripped up when you go to checkout because Game Time, it's the best way to get last-minute tickets to anything, whether it's a Kentucky-Louisville football game, basketball game at Rupp Arena, a comedy show, concert, whatever it may be, Game Time's got you covered ahead of this holiday season. I mean, it's you can get $60 not in the flight deck. The flight deck, that's a long climb up there. Like you can go sit in the Adidas logo for $60. That would be fun.
You can do the Louisville staple, which is buy a ticket to the flight deck and just go to the party deck instead.
Oh yeah, that's their favorite thing to do. I know the beers will be cold up there. And the tickets, they're even cheaper when you use promo code ON3. All first-time users get $20 off your first purchase at Game Time when you use promo code ON3 at checkout. That's ON3, the numeral 3 at checkout. Terms apply. Game Time, it's the best way to get last-minute tickets. Whatever event you want to attend, just swipe, ticket, tap, and go with Game Time. Promo code ON3. Shout out to our friends at Game Time. Do you have a favorite memory of watching Kentucky play at that venue like it?
I mean, the Millar game was pretty big deal. Like that was,
yeah.
They had this surprising season, but they needed the signature win. You felt like they missed it against Georgia at home.
Mm-hmm. Hot Rod hit that field goal.
Yeah, that one was probably the biggest one. I mean, that was a huge win. And I think that's the one that really kind of turned the series on where we're at now, where Kentucky's won. If they win this one, you can basically say, when our team doesn't quit, we win the game.
Because it'd be 8 of 10, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that. It would be 6 of 7, I believe. 6-1 over the last 7. Yeah. And then, the only one Louisville's won in this has been ever since Stoops got to year 3. The only one they've won is last year. Kentucky had this collapse
last year.
And then Lamar was Superman.
Yeah. Which that I remember being down on the field before the game, and I was looking at Lamar. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna kill us.
Well, I got some vibes of that last week in Nashville.
Yeah,
you weren't beaten. You weren't beating that team. No one was beating that team on that day in that stadium, in my opinion, with how Pavia was playing. I know Kentucky's got massive coverage issues. And like, we're going to talk about the portal. That, to me, Nick, that is like, it's getting like close to crisis offensive line levels. You cannot play a full season with coverage problems like that. Well, so they're going to have to figure that out. That's one of the first things I think they're going to have to figure out when
one
they
of
start
the
digging
areas
into that.
they didn't address last offseason.
And it was the one area I think they sacrificed for understandable reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But they've had to come back and pay the tax on that. And so that's the area they have to, I think, get fixed this year. But Pavia was surgical in that game. I mean, the way they're throwing the football right now is just really impressive. And they watched the Tennessee tape. They went tempo.
Mm-hmm.
They went spread. They threw a damn deep comeback. Diego Pavia threw a deep comeback into the field in that game. I was just like, well, they watched Tennessee's tape. They ran switch releases. I mean, they watched the Tennessee tape. I don't think Louisville is going to be able to do that. I don't think Louisville's built to do that. So I think that plays into Kentucky's hands. And another advantage, offenses that have been built like Louisville, Kentucky's really had a lot of success against.
Yeah.
Even like South Carolina. South Carolina scored 21 offensive points. One was like that 20-play drive at the end of the game, I believe. And then the others came because Sellers was Superman, right?
Yeah.
On third down scrambles.
Dead to rights and then just gains 20 yards.
So they've played really well against these types of offenses. You know, even you look at Texas. I mean, Texas and Louisville are very similar to me in how they play and how they operate. And then, you know, Auburn and you throw Florida in there as well. And I don't know if Brom's going to want to come out and throw this ball 40 times. He's going to want to run it. And teams that try to get run heavy against Kentucky get in bad situations.
I would also add, too, that we've mentioned this many a time before, but the Kentucky showing no quit throughout the year has been commendable. And whenever they've gone out and gotten shellacked, gotten embarrassed, they've usually played one of their best games the following week. The Tennessee game, you know, 1 week later, they go on the road and show that they aren't letting down. Right? It was Florida the week after, right? Hell.
After the week after who?
Week after Tennessee at Auburn.
Tennessee was Auburn.
Auburn, yeah. The defense goes out, plays great in that game. You know, I think it would be, and I know Brad and all these guys, they've mentioned it before, like they have to go do it. But they've shown you that they've done it before and that they've got a little bit of pride in them. And you add the rivalry element to it. You add the blowout loss to them last year element to it. And then hey, we've got a bowl game to play for. We want to make sure this season was all for naught. I think you're going to see a fired up group where, hell, give Stoops credit, man. There's a lot of things he doesn't do well as a Kentucky head coach. He's good at beating Florida and Louisville. And even when they lose, I mean, the last time Louisville won this game at Louisville, Kentucky beat their ass before the game, and they had their ass beat afterwards, but just couldn't do anything to Devontae Parker. They couldn't stop that guy. But
yeah,
he gets these guys ready for this game. He knows how to push all the right buttons. And whether he's not saying anything publicly, but if you need something else, when you look over the other sideline and you see Vince Merrill wearing that red, that's going to be like waving the red towel in front of the bowl, right? Like these guys, they're hungry to throw L's down and hoist that Governor's Cup trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think obviously they're going to have a lot of motivation in this game. But I also think, like, we're talking about Louisville's injuries. Kentucky's got a ton too.
It's true. Somebody's asking about it in the chat. Any idea on
starters?
Afari and Nichols?
I would operate on the assumption they're not playing.
Stoops is also, he doesn't have to do an availability report this week because it's a non-SEC game. So he's doing the thing where he's not saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, Afari went through warm-ups last week. So he was obviously closer than Nichols, in my opinion. Afari didn't play. Now, Waller did that, and we haven't seen him suited up since, right?
Right. So it's hard
But
to read too much into
but
it.
McGowan did that and played the next week. So
Yeah.
read into
it.
that what you
Yeah.
will.
Right.
And linebacker play hasn't been a problem these last couple
Godfrey
games.
was good.
Yeah, Godfrey's playing good football right now.
It's
So,
more so that cornerback.
Nichols would be a big one, but he hasn't played in a month. Like, he has not played since the Tennessee game.
Rough game too.
I think there's a conversation to be like the Addison thing is not playing because he wants to preserve a red shirt.
Well, and
that's just it's a sticky situation. I think for everyone.
And I don't know how injured he is either, because Stoops said 2 weeks ago that he was hurt and that's why he didn't play. And he was on the availability report, so you don't know if it's like how injured is he
hurt or
versus
not?
how much is it a red shirt deal? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's tough. It puts you, you just get real thin. So you've got all those injuries. Caddis is out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thin too. Now, it's not the impact players overall that I would say Louisville is going to have out for this game, but it's both these teams are banged up. But again, you look at Louisville and how they've just operated from a passing game standpoint. It's not been one that they have a lot of faith in. Like, you can just tell when you watch them play.
Still throwing the ball a lot though.
And then do we think Miller Moss is playing? Let's start there.
I would say yes. That felt like the Joey Gatewood game against Georgia. Right? You all have wanted a change. Well, here's your change. It's not any better. We're going to go back to Miller Moss one final time and see if we can get something out of him. So I'm going to say he does play.
Yeah, it almost feels like I guess they can get to me, you got to get a longer look at Deuce Adams for Louisville because they have a QB decision to make.
It's true.
Now, do they wait for the bowl game to get that? Right. So to me, my hunch is they play Adams. If it doesn't go well early, they put Moss in.
Okay. It's fair enough.
But I think you're going to see, remember the Miami game when he threw 3 quarterbacks out there? I think you're going to see some stuff like, you just get ready for that. You're going to see some stuff like that. And then their running backs are going to be a kid from North Hardin and a kid from Ashland Blazer in this game that haven't played pretty much all year. And the Jennings kid from Ashland Blazer is a walk-on. And Sean Boykins was that receiver like a few weeks ago.
Shout out to the Tomcats, Ashland Blazer, one of the best mascot nicknames in the Commonwealth, I would say. Them and the Briar Jumpers, Somerset.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is it's setting up like the game, like for Kentucky, it's set up as well as you could probably hope for. It's a game they need to go win, and you need the offense again. I'm going to hammer that until they go and do it, but they got to go play well away from home. And then that Vandy defense has not really had a ton of success the last few weeks, and they made them look like Brian Flores was on the headset. Or Dick LeBeau was calling up zone blitzes. I mean, like, it was just like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
Is Dick LeBeau still with us?
I believe so.
I feel like he coached until he was in his 80s. Who is a bigger football lifer, Dick LeBeau or Tom Moore?
I would say Tom Moore because he's still on the sidelines. I think LeBeau is just retired now.
Is Mike Zimmer still coaching too? Or does
no,
he have like an analyst thing.
No, who was the old defensive coordinator that like Vrabel brought back, or someone at the Titans brought back? Dom. God, what was his name? Dom Capers.
Yeah,
he's up there too. Yeah, Dom Capers is 75, and he's still working for the Panthers.
Dom Capers, I mean, worst hair dye job in football. It's something else. It's quite the look. Yeah, Pete Carroll, he's pretty old too. He's 74, and he's still head coaching out there. I mean, Bill Belichick. Well, Bill, they're at least playing competitive football, so give them credit. They will not be bowling
this
though.
Week. The Duke NC State back-to-back rivalry games is a tricky spot for them.
I would say so. Yeah,
I would say I wouldn't love that scheduling if I was North Carolina.
we'll get into some of those games here at the end of the show, but I do like this question from Sam Bostic. Nick and Adam, if Kentucky wins, could we play Cincinnati in a bowl game?
I'm going to cover this in depth if they win the game. But basically, they've got a lot of playoff spots potentially. Like they could get 5 teams in, so that could open. But even then, it's going to be hard for Kentucky to get out of. Basically, there's tiers. Basically, there's like you got the playoff, then Citrus is in its own tier.
Yep.
And then it's Music City. It's the artist formerly known as the Outback Bowl.
Liberty Bowl.
No, Liberty's in the Liberty Bowl.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
It's Music City. It's Gator. It's
Texas.
Artist formerly known as the Outback Bowl. And then I think Texas is, I can't remember if Texas is in that one or the next one. And then the next one,
Duke's Mayo and Texas were in that one too. But
the next one is like Texas, Duke's Mayo are on the same plane. And then Liberty's with them. But they want to fill Texas and Duke's Mayo before they fill Liberty. So basically, the only way Kentucky could get into the Liberty, in my opinion, is if another bowl team joined the party, like a Mississippi State, if they were to win this weekend. But I find it hard for them to get out of that. But it's important to remember that they could play Cincinnati because that's a Big 12 SEC game in Memphis. But I think SEC is going to want to fill. They want that bowl game filled before. So it's going to be versus them and an ACC team, I think, is a heavy favorite. Wake Forest is getting some projections right now for Duke's Mayo. I would pull, NC State. You know who's on NC State staff?
DJ Elliott
and Joker Phillips. Can we get
Oh, I forgot Joker was on that staff too.
Yeah, so that would be a lot of content. But either of those games, I'm very interested to hear Mark Stoops' opinion on that because that is right when the portal opens and visits are taking place. That's a tricky time spot. But basically, if they win that game, I think going to Charlotte for a game on Friday night at 8 p.m., January 2nd, is the heavy favorite.
The Texas Bowl also does Big 12, but I don't know all of the Big 12 ties, but I would assume that they would have a team from nearby that could more likely fill that than Cincinnati, where they might try to ship Cincinnati somewhere else.
It's just Cincinnati's like, it's more like Memphis is probably the closest one to them. So they're probably very likely going to the Liberty Bowl. And for Kentucky, like A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss are all in the playoff. Bama's in if they win. So they're ahead of them anyway. Vanderbilt might be in, but Tennessee, Texas are both going to be ahead of Kentucky, and they're going to bowl games. LSU and Missouri are going to be ahead of Kentucky because they'll both have 7-5 records. Or better, 7-5 or 8-4 records. And then Kentucky's next. Like Kentucky could be the last bowl team because if Auburn and Mississippi State both lose, there's no more bowl teams.
Yep. So we get to figure out that math once the dust settles on Saturday's games. But remember, you still got to wait a week to find out which bowl game you're attending because of conference championship week. So that's always a fun waiting game to play.
But we'll have, I think we'll have a better idea.
Yeah.
It's important to know that Liberty, the SEC Liberty is one of the first ones they'll drop if possible.
Same thing with Birmingham and
Birmingham.
Birmingham only happened last year because there were so many bowl teams, and then you got a fun game between Pavia and Haynes Keene.
Yeah, I mean we're setting up to where there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 16 teams in the league. So what's that? A third? Not bowl eligible.
But you know who could be? Your Kentucky Wildcats. Just got to get another win. Got to get a dub.
That's 37.5%. Yeah. Then I can hear people now. Well, that's why Kentucky made a bowl because they beat up on a bunch of bad teams.
Hey, I know there's a lot of Black Friday shopping that's going to be happening in a couple days. If you're thinking about KSR Plus, we're going to have some Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Roback too, RHOBACK.com. You get 20% off when you use the promo code KSR your first purchase. So remember that when you're doing your holiday shopping this weekend. Roback, RHOBACK.com. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shirts, all the best, most comfortable gear. Use promo code KSR. You're going to get 20% off at Roback.com this holiday season. Like it, I wanted to touch on the coaching carousel because
did you see the update?
So was the Golish thing real?
Yeah, they're not. He hasn't. It's not official, but
it's happening.
Football Scoop is reporting they're deep in final negotiations.
Ah, damn it! Because there was a moment this morning when I thought it was Matt Campbell from Iowa State, which Iowa State felt like a potential landing spot if Mark Stoops wanted to venture out elsewhere. But instead, it looks like Woo Pig is going with the Heupel offense. You know, the offense works so well with Bobby Petrino. Let's get another offensive guy. So they're going to turn the tide to goalish. I did just want to say, like, Matt Campbell he's kind of stuck. He's in a similar situation to Stoops, except the difference is Campbell was up for a lot of big jobs a couple of years ago, right? He was the flavor of the month for the longest time, kept hanging around, and now he's kind of stuck.
Yeah, well, let's see if someone circles back around to him here later. I'm just going to say it, Nick.
Do we have JUCO commitment just happened? Oh, hell, it's like an hour. Braxton Urquhart.
That is a new name to me. That does not happen very often. So props to them. If Adam Luckett can't sniff it out, you're doing a good job.
Oh man, that's fun. Braxton Urquhart. He is 6'3", 195-pound DB from Butler Community College. So there we go. And
there's just get ready for another one this weekend.
Yeah. I think
we'll have more on that later hopefully maybe later today. I'll have some more of that on the KSR Plus. But
yeah, I saw one of the guys OVing this weekend. This guy, interest from Western Michigan, Prairie View, A&M, SEMO State, UT Martin.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, I gave my thoughts on kind of this JUCO surge that we're seeing in Kentucky and what they're doing. All right. Here's the case for it. I'm not saying I believe in this, but this is the case for it.
Okay.
You have in the spring portal last year, Kentucky kind of backfilled the roster with depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lorenzo Cowan's playing now, but the plan wasn't for him to play. But he gave them more depth at edge, right? They added 2 offensive linemen because they lost all the offensive linemen that transferred out, right? You added another tight end in Elijah Brown, who's injured, but was like your 4th tight end. So they added pieces to add like depth with experience, but multiple years where true freshmen don't have to be your depth pieces. So to me, that's kind of, you don't have a spring portal this year to address roster needs.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So I think that's a selling. Like we can address our rotation players to guys on the 2s. We can address it this way through JUCO recruiting. Right? To me, that would be kind of the sell. The detractor is, and I wrote about this is what happens when you have a hot seat situation. You stop worrying about 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Now, the college football that we are in today is different than the past. It is a very much kind of a 1-year renewable type situation. But there's also a balance you have to walk. And it's clear Kentucky has pivoted. All right. In the past, they were always like high school first. We're going to high school first, supplement, high school first, supplement, high school first, supplement. Well, now that tune has changed in a big way. It's basically Mark Stoops is saying, like he did on Monday, that we're a transfer program now.
Yeah.
In the past, Nick, whenever you did this, which is load up on JUCOs out of the blue, it was a sign of the end, because this is what you do when you're just kind of, it's a last ditch swing at the plate. And I'm not saying this is it, but it smells like they stopped recruiting in the middle of the season.
The one that frustrated me in particular was Dayron Parks, because if you're unaware of this kid, he's a top 300 offensive guard who played high school football in Seminole, Florida last year. Decides last year, I'm going to transfer somewhere else. But before he makes the move, he commits to Florida State. He had officially visited Kentucky, but he ends up moving back to West Virginia. I even heard there was some talk that he might go to a school in Kentucky, but he ends up back in West Virginia. Kentucky gets him on campus. Florida State's a damn disaster. You have a chance to go flip a guy who can be a plus. I mean, that guy looks like a multi-year starter in the SEC.
Especially after you lose Jemison.
Yeah, like this is just everything goes right for you to flip this guy, and instead you're like, we'll just get a JUCO. And here's the thing. This is not to say that Kentucky does not have JUCO success stories. Brandon Eccles got drafted. Lonnie Johnson got drafted. I know the situations were different. It was pre-COVID. Zadarius Smith just retired after 10 years in the NFL. They've had some JUCO success stories over the years, but there aren't as many as the success stories that I just laid out, right? Like here's a top 300, top 400, whatever it may be, offensive guard, sits for a year, ends up starting, is a quality ball player. The last two JUCO offensive linemen they got, Flax, I mean, he looked like he was going to quit when Wolford was there, and he ended up being just fine once Yenzer came around. He was able to respond. But so he started for a year, so you were able to get that. They had Anthony Crease, and that guy, it was a Kivas Thomas situation where they couldn't play him. They needed to, but they couldn't because he couldn't give you anything. Mm-hmm. So that's most of the JUCO guys they've gotten as of late. Were just guys you couldn't play. They were bodies, they were depth pieces, they were practice players. I guess the pitch you have about, well, if these are depth pieces, it's not as concerning, but it just makes the portal that much more important. It narrows your margin of error about that much more. The Parks thing just pissed me off, frankly. Like that guy was there for the taking. Just go get him.
Well, it's just they're not worried about 27 and 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's
clearly.
They're not worried about 27 and 28. They're worried about now. It's a hot seat. They are treading water. And this is what I wrote about. I would highly recommend going and read that.
KSR Plus.
KSR Plus. Latest recruiting notebook we have up there. But that's just where they are. They are treading water. They're fighting for their jobs right now. And this is what happened. And to me, I think, to your point, okay, if you're going to do this, it's fine. If this is how you're adjusting depth, whatever. Mm-hmm. You better go hit home runs in the portal, and you need to go get some high dollar players, right? If you're adding these so you have lesser needs and you're more cost efficient ways to build your roster, then let's go see them get some top guys in the portal, some more highly guys that are more highly thought of that have more expensive price tags. You know, last year, Nick, they spent I see a lot of people, they don't have any money. They spent money in the portal, but they had so many needs.
Yeah. Right.
They had to fill up the grocery cart, right? Is
that a Kroger Field pun?
You can't buy the most expensive ribeye. I've got to buy, your
flank steak.
Maybe I got to get a pork chop. I can't get a ribeye. I got to get a pork chop because I got to get mashed potatoes. Because I got to get this. I got to get the olive oil. We don't have any olive oil. I got to get,
diapers too. And those are expensive as hell.
Diapers. So that's just. So maybe if this allows you to have a smaller portal window and to spend more money, I think it makes sense. But it's just an interesting strategy because no one else is doing this in the league.
No.
At least not. Mississippi State always dabbles. But when you see who they're competing with, this kid right here, we've got to dig in more. I think they beat Western Michigan. I think he visited Western Michigan looking at his profile. And it's a recruitment that they kept quiet.
Yeah.
Right. That you're going to see that we've expected because that's typically what they do around this time. But these other guys that are in on, it's a lot of Big 12 schools. SMU showed up on a couple of them. It's UCF. It's West Virginia. UCF and West Virginia are both early tenure staff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not known to be the biggest money spenders in the sport. So that's kind of who you're competing against. It's just not what everyone else does. Your peers do. And so it's just an interesting strategy. But to me, it's kind of what happens when you have a hot seat situation. Yeah. They don't want to spend money on high schoolers. To Mark Stoops' point,
I want players who can help me win now.
I want players that can help now. To me, what that means is I know it's on the line here.
Time to
shut up. Now, if you're in an administration or a leadership position, you have to sit there and see what's going on and like, is this what's best for this organization or this program long term? Yeah. Like, is the next coach just going to have this
skeleton crew?
Big mess to clean up, and then all that. It's just, to me, it's concerning. Potentially long term if it doesn't work in the short term.
And like you said, this won't be the only one, but at least Kentucky now up to 14 recruits that will sign in the early signing period. Maybe more to come from the JUCO ranks. We will keep our head on a swivel throughout the weekend. That interrupted our coaching carousel talk, but Golish to Arkansas, and then what was the one we just got the other day at Oklahoma State? Eric Morris. Mm-hmm. They're rating the American right now. The AAC is getting rated, but John Summerall, he's still there. He's trying to get his Tulane Green Wave into the college football playoff. Who they got this weekend? I didn't even see that.
They've got Charlotte, who's the worst team in that conference. They're going to win.
And
more than likely.
The way the American Conference standings are too, I don't know. I have no idea who they could play.
It's going to be them and North Texas if both of them win. North Texas plays Rice, I believe.
Okay.
It's going to be
Navy can't get in? Okay.
Yeah, to my understanding. Yeah, because I believe North Texas I know they beat either Army or Navy on the road. I can't remember. But it's going to be North Texas, Tulane in that conference championship game. I'm just going to say this, Nick. We are Auburn doing something unexpected or just borderline reactionary from Summerall getting through this first big wave of the carousel. Now, the Penn State search is hard to get a read on. It's hard to even know who they're looking at. He might be keeping a low profile there. And I'm still going to say it. Florida is not hiring a defensive coach. So it's not happening. LSU is not hiring the Tulane coach. It's not happening.
Nope.
So if he gets by Auburn, he's going to be still the Tulane coach, I think, in mid-December. So just take that for what it will.
Well,
but if he gets by Auburn,
I guess, notwithstanding if Ole Miss comes open.
I was assuming Kiffin stays. Yes, I was assuming Kiffin stays. Yeah,
there's a good reason to assume that, because if you looked at that On3 graphic that we sent out, they asked people from all around college football media to predict what Lane will do. It's a great graphic. It's a great talking point. A lot of people picking Ole Miss. You know who didn't? Or excuse me, a lot of people picked LSU. But if you notice who didn't pick that, they picked Ole Miss. Chris Lowe. And the guy, he's very plugged in the SEC. He's very plugged in with these coaches. And as we've been trying to beat that dead horse, like, all Lane has to do is just keep winning. He's going to stay there. And then furthermore, I can't, that all of the stuff out there about how much LSU is offering Lane, and people are like, oh God, how can he turn that down? Like, that just is a huge, huge look at this carrot being dangled over here, because it's not real. It's Mitch Barnhart not saying publicly, but letting it be known that they're going to offer Danny Hurley $110 million. That's the sign of the goose is cooked. We need our fans to know that we tried. At least we tried, because it's not going to happen. So I don't know if Lane's going to win this game Saturday. He'll probably eke one out close. But I'm fairly confident that Lane's going to stay at Ole Miss.
If BetMGM would give me odds on Lane Kiffin staying at LSU and announcing it on Thanksgiving Day or sometime on the clock in those 24 hours on Thanksgiving,
that he's going to stay at Ole Miss, you're taking that? Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think happened.
Before the deadline. Dum, dum, dum.
I think at the end of the day, I think Lane wants to take LSU. I think how this falls on the calendar is just a tough situation for him. I think he knows I can't step away from a playoff team. It's not only a playoff team, like you could win a couple games and you're in the Final Four.
Yeah.
You're in the Final Four and all of a sudden you're a win away from playing for a national title. I don't think the timing aligns, and I think he'll end up staying. That's my prediction. And LSU, and like it's different how he's going to have to win at LSU is different than Ole Miss. They're not going to love signing 20 portal players a year.
Nope.
They're going to want you to get
all the Louisiana boys.
The stars from high school recruiting, essentially, right? So it's just different. He's gonna have to do it a little different. Not saying he can't, but I think he wants to. I just don't think. I think common sense doesn't always win out, but I think it will win out here.
Yeah, well, it is college football, though. Luckett, you never know.
That's right. He might mess around and who knows, take the Penn State job.
But you mentioned BetMGM. Let's look at some of these odds that are floating around on BetMGM this weekend. It's rivalry weekend, and there's no better place to get in on the action than BetMGM. They've got the best bonus tokens that you can use to help goose the odds and build that bankroll over at BetMGM. It's been a legendary college football season. Don't let go of the rope now. If you haven't signed up yet, use bonus code ON3 and you'll get up to $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the app, use that bonus code, deposit at least $10, and place your first wager on any game. If it doesn't hit, you get that money back in bonus bets up to $1,500. That's bonus code ON3, ON, the numeral 3, to get that sign-up offer. BetMGM, it's the best. Make this college football season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And guys, here's the other part too. I know that it's technically ending, but playoffs fun to bet on. And then also we got all of the I love bowl games. You can sniff out some lines. We can beat BetMGM. So get on over to BetMGM today. Let me just remind you though that you got to see betmgm.com for terms. 21 plus only. The U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. That first bet offers for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. They've taken away the hook in Mississippi State, Ole Miss, but it's going to be hard for me not to play the home dogs in the Egg Bowl. No, it's not at noon. I like it at 7.5. I might have to pay for the hook, but I've been addicted to betting the bad SEC teams this year, and I don't know if I can quit it this time. Arkansas let me down last week at Texas, but I think the Bulldogs. It's the Egg Bowl, man. I'm expecting some chaos in the final game of the regular season. It's like the Nebraska-Iowa under. That thing's at 38.5. I want to bet the Nebraska-Iowa under on Black Friday. Sue me.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Nebraska's lost 6 straight games at home.
They are bowl eligible though, so they can't ruin it. Usually, this has been the game where they got to win it to go to a bowl game, and then they clinch defeat from the jaws of victory. Just find ways to lose this game.
Right. How do you go to the window and bet Nebraska? Even though that line is like up around a touchdown, which feels like a lot.
It's at 6, which. Do you want to bet Iowa to win by a touchdown? I don't know, but hell, maybe a little money line parlay there. I don't know. Is there
it's rivalry weekend? You've got to bet dogs, right?
Yeah, I know. You have to, but it's all about finding the right ones. I mean,
Georgia, 2-9-1 against the spread as a double-digit favorite since the start of last season. Georgia Tech 15-5. ATS as a dog under Brent Key.
You just got to play him at 14, plus 14. I know they lost last week and it
You just
knocked him out of
gotta
the ACC
right.
championship, but still.
You got to play Georgia Tech. I think you also have to play Vanderbilt this week.
Oh, what's the number there?
I believe it's 2.5. They're catching 2.5. You've just got to play the money line.
3 on BetMGM, yeah.
Screw the 3 points. Play the money. You just got to play the money line. Take the plus 125 and just play it. Like
Okay, just all right.
Nick, Tennessee is 0-6 ATS in their last 6 as an SEC home favorite. Vandy is 11-3 ATS as a dog with Pavia with 7 outright upsets. Pavia is 36-15-1 against the spread as a starting quarterback in college football. You have to play it. You just have to play him. It's the game for the playoff and the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Is he really going to lose this game?
I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't be betting on the ball.
It's the JUCO Bowl. Aguilar versus Pavia. It's the JUCO Bowl. You've got to play Pavia here. You just have to.
The total is 65.5. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense.
Buckle up, brother. That thing is going. It's going to be points are going to be scored in that one, and it could be last one with the ball. But in that game, a shootout, the Aguilar pick is coming, right?
Oh yeah, backbreaking.
You know that is coming. Pavia, that's not coming from Pavia. You just got to trust him in this game. He's just going to get it done.
All right. Similarly, you can't walk through the window and bet Virginia to win this game by 10 points.
No. The teller would have to look at you like, what is wrong with you?
You cannot. All the stakes have never been higher. Tony Elliott somehow not only saved his job, but can win an ACC title at Virginia. And then now look, James Franklin's coming to his rival. This is your last chance, right? The biggest game of your career. You trust Tony Elliott to win this thing by 10 points? Not me.
Virginia Tech is 19-1. The one win was the year Virginia, remember, when they had Bryce Perkins, they made the ACC championship game. They went to a group New Year's Six Bowl.
Yep.
And that game went down to the wire.
Yeah, and they brushed the field at the. I mean, it was.
I believe that was the team. I believe that was the team Kentucky played in the Belk Bowl. I believe that was that Virginia.
That sounds
Tech.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you have to take Virginia Tech. Do you have to take Auburn? Like it?
Yes. How do you lay points with Kalen DeBoer in this game? Like how? Honestly. How do you do it? This is what happens. This is going to be a war. I wish it was 7. I hate the 6.5.
Yeah.
That feels like a gray area. But you have to take Auburn to cover. You can't take them to win. But you have to take them to cover. I had some good trends on this. I'm pulling that up right now. The home team is 8-0-1 ATS in the Iron Bowl for the last 9 meetings. Kalen DeBoer is 2-5-1 against the spread as a road favorite. Auburn's playing good ball right now. They can match up physically with Alabama across the board.
Yeah, and you mentioned it previously. That Alabama offense has kind of gotten bogged down. And
they can't run the ball.
If there was a team that could bog them down, I mean, Auburn and Oklahoma are built very similarly. So
yeah. Auburn's live in that game.
Yeah, and that total, that feels like another under.
What is that total at? I haven't
46.5.
Yeah, so it's 26-20 is what they're calling for? Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels about right. Let's see.
Florida State should not be catching points against that Florida team.
No. The other one, that 47.5 in NC State versus North Carolina. It feels like neither team's going to want to score in that game.
The problem is North Carolina State's defense is legitimately bad. Florida State would have scored more if they could stop turning it over. The underdog, 20-6 ATS in this series. That's like my whole life almost. So it's a dog series. The visitors 9-3 over the last 12. So the trends say back the heels.
Okay. Back the heels. All dogs go to heaven this week. It's rivalry week. All dogs go to heaven. This has got to be Scott Van Pelt's favorite week. Just bet all the dogs. Take the points. have a good time. Rivalry week. It's the most fun. And, I mean, come on. If you aren't taking Kentucky in the +3, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then even like this Kentucky Louisville series, we didn't really get into it, but it's very much a road team, and even an underdog series. The visitors 12-3-1 against the spread the last 15, 11 outright wins. Last 16, excuse me, 11 outright wins. The dog in those in those 16 games, Nick, the road dog has won 10 outright.
Another situation there.
That aligns, and it's Kentucky fits that as of right now. We'll see if we have any line moving as the week goes on, but they fit that right now.
Do you have a final score yet for Kentucky Louisville?
I did 28-13 Cats.
I'm similar. I've just got this thing playing out kind of like the Florida game, but a little bit more points where, maybe Kentucky tries to run it up some. I've got 31-10. Cats.
Yeah, I think Kentucky's offense kind of struggles again on the road, but I think it's a situation where they get some short fills because I think there's going to be some offensive incompetence from Louisville.
Yeah.
I think maybe even like
you try to do all these gadgets and then one of them blows up.
Anytime touchdown Kentucky defense, it's worth consideration this week. I can see that. I just think it's going to be hard for Louisville to score. And I think Kentucky gets some short fields, and eventually, even if Kentucky's able to play from ahead at all in this game, I think they're really going to be able to squeeze Louisville out.
One other defensive special teams touchdown bet: South Carolina Clemson. Beamer's going to do some. There's going to be a Beamer score. Clemson just loves to just be incompetent on offense, so. Maybe circle that one as well. I hope all your wagers win. I hope Joe Burrow puts a smile on your face Thanksgiving night, Luckett. You've earned it, brother. You've earned it. You're gonna run 5 miles tomorrow morning, and you know what? You've earned the right to drink some Bud Light and watch Joe Burrow score some touchdowns and take out Lamar Jackson on Thanksgiving night.
Listen, we're gonna have it's gonna be a good weekend. Stressful right now, but you just got to get to Thanksgiving, right? Like that's the thing. You just got to get to Turkey Day. And everything works out. Again, stuff is going to start happening as soon as this game. I think we'll get Saturday. I don't think we'll see any craziness Saturday.
Yeah, but Sunday.
Stuff's going to start happening. So just be ready. We'll be at KS Board covering it all. Again, more JUCO commitments are coming down the chimney. They're going to add, I think, 3 to 5 before Wednesday. Or maybe I think most of them will probably come on Wednesday, but they're going to add 3 to 5, I think. And you're going to have like this, what it'll be. It's kind of that 18-man class that you want, but a lot of them are going to be of the junior college variety. I think we've got a chance, Nick, where I'm going to have to go back and crunch the numbers. It might be the most JUCOs they've ever signed if they get to 5. I can't remember them signing more than 3 or 4 in a year.
Right. The other part too is not easy for our jobs because the portal, high school ranks, there's a lot on the internet about them. Not a lot on the internet on these guys. So we'll keep ahead on.
That's why they pay us the big bucks to go digging.
Yeah, we're gonna go digging. And you know what? We'll share some updates from our run tomorrow. We'll do a little before and after press conference on the Twitters. So we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Now's the time to be thankful. So thanks for hanging out with 11 Personnel. We always have fun doing this every single week with you. We're not going anywhere. Hopefully, we're back next week to celebrate a big win over the Cards. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Go Cats and go Kroger.